The Betterment Junkies.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. I am Mr. White.
And I'm Mr. Black.
And we are the Betterment Junkies. And today, I'm laughing already because we're here to talk about one of Mr. Black's guilty pleasures.
No. I'm telling you, everyone needs to watch like 5 episodes.
No, don't try to lead them on. Let them think what they need to think. All right.
All
We're going to talk about today is the reality TV show some of you may know called "Say Yes to the Dress." Now, this is apparently Mr. Black's like guilty as pleasure, and he apparently loves this show. I mean, I'm not a big reality TV person myself. I had this like amazing thing with Jersey Shore, like me and you did.
I remember college.
Our
that was fun.
group. You know, we would be like, shit, what were those lines? Like, t-shirt time, where the cabs at? You know, like, shit like that.
Yeah, that was fun.
That was like my reality TV phenomenon.
Like 2 seasons, I think.
Yeah, but I still had an understanding that that's reality TV, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But when you brought this up to me saying, yo, have you ever seen Say Yes to the Dress? I was like, I had to like pause and dude, what the fuck?
All right, so I guess we should explain what that is if someone hasn't heard of it.
Sure. Go ahead. It's your guilty pleasure, so you tell them.
Guilty pleasure is a very strong and inaccurate term I would use to describe this.
Are you just fascinated by it?
No, okay. Well, let me describe the show first.
Okay.
So, when people get married...
yeah, you can't even think straight, because I had to be like, dude, wait, what? I thought you were going to constantly be like, yo, have you seen the new season of Daredevil? Or like, yo, the new movie? Or, yeah, and you're like, have you seen Say Yes to the Dress?
It's essentially like family girls going out and seeing picking their wedding dresses. Picking their wedding dresses.
Like original like white type of veil wedding dresses. Those type of things. You don't get your Asian type of wedding dresses. But go ahead.
All right, so there are apparently different styles of dresses. There are different...
Do you know the names? Do you know the designer
I do
names?
not... Okay, I know one, ball gown.
Oh, wow.
And then,
the easiest one to
and there's a
too.
spectrum between conservative and, like slutty. Like, there's, like, you know...
slutty wedding dresses.
There are. And then, you got to get into the backstory of every, like, person who's getting every bride because, it defines...
so you, like, learn about their family.
You learn about their family,
like
and then
America's Got Talent type of thing.
Yeah, and there's always, like, that family member who's going to show up or who's specific on what they want, or that grandma who, like, always dreamed of this certain wedding, and,
But the daughter wants it slutty.
Or conservative. You could go either way. There could be a grandma who wants her granddaughter to wear a slutty dress.
That would be an interesting episode.
I haven't seen that episode.
So basically, it's these. Now, is it usually like the maternal figures of the family that go?
Yeah. So I mean, like that is one of the reasons why.
When you brought up the show to me, I was like, "What the fuck?" And then you explained the show, what it was about, but then you brought up an interesting theory. And that's where the discussion came from. So I'll let you say what your theory was or what you learned from the show first.
So, I mean, both of us have grown up in a household where we have no sisters. And just our moms are there. Mm-hmm. I mean, for me specifically, like, the idea of spending 10 grand on a dress you're going to wear once in your life was fucking ridiculous.
Still is
ridiculous to me. I mean, sometimes it was more than 10 grand. And I always took it as like, girls are stupid. Like, that's how I always like thought of it. And then me and my girlfriend watched this show. And then she fell asleep, and then I binge watched like 8 episodes.
That's just sad.
Because
it's one thing to like blame it on your girlfriend, like I have to watch it with my girlfriend. But it's another thing, like when your girlfriend falls asleep, let me watch the rest. I
have no shame because it is a window into human society of how we see.
Yeah, this is actually interesting
because it's like, to me, like spending that much is crazy, but like to these brides, it was once in a moment thing that happened. They would
supposedly
well,
theoretically that's what's supposed to happen,
but they had the entire maternal side, daughters, nieces, all maternal, like, grandmas, aunts, like they're all there, and they're all talking about when they went through it and how that was, and you start to get this idea that this is actually a very ingrained cultural phenomenon that happens, the wedding dress. And I would argue a ring also. Like that, all these things are so ingrained, and for us it seems stupid, but it's like, I don't know, it's a rite of passage.
So yeah, I would say it's a great distinction for women, absolutely, because they kind of grow up with this like fantasy almost of what wedding is, or what even you mainly the show is about like Christian weddings, so like white dresses and things like that.
I've seen
But
like 8 episodes, so I don't know. Maybe they
don't
could
lie, don't lie.
No, I'm
Don't
telling
lie.
you.
How
I'm
many
telling,
seasons
like,
are there?
I don't know how many
Yeah,
seasons there
okay.
are. If it comes on, which it comes on like at nighttime, I
You-
do know.
you know what time it comes on,
I
and
don't
you know what
watch
channel.
it that often. But
Anyways.
there is Say Yes to the Dress Atlanta, which I don't know what the fuck that is. But all right.
I feel like now I'm not a racist, but I feel like that's a very racial segregated type of way to diversify the show by just making it Atlanta, and but what you're basically saying is, here's Say Yes to the Dress for Black people. Like that's what it signals to. That's what it signals to me.
I haven't even seen that.
If there's another type of how they profiled it, right? Because they wouldn't put it with regular, they put it Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Anyways,
all right.
when you brought up the whole figure of like, because I asked you like what it's about, and you said it's a bunch of maternal figures, it did dawn on me like we have a different societal fixture of how boys and girls think and what they grow up. I will say, as millennials, I think they're getting a little bit smarter and smarter because, as you can see in statistics, we're having less kids for economical reasons.
That happens when countries get educated.
Debatable. Well, yeah.
No, when the country becomes more educated, they treat their women better, less kids, and all that.
True. That's true. You're right.
But let me say one thing. That made me flip on it was like, I saw like one episode where like this family was like not really like wealthy, but it was important not only for the daughter to get a dress, but it was important to the father. Like it was this whole thing where like the father wanted to be able to provide this for her daughter. He wasn't like, oh, this is stupid. Like as like men, like I don't know, we don't see the value of the dress, but like it's something like it's so ingrained that the fact that if you're not wealthy, you're still willing to spend money because it's something.
Yeah,
that's...
probably like when you said like not wealthy family, I'm thinking taking out loans. Like,
yeah, for like a dress. Like I can't imagine that.
The About Us episode, I was in the banking industry. You were in the banking industry, and I'm sure like I still get customers, and I'm sure you got a lot of customers who will come and they would want to pull out loans, and when you try to ask them like, is it for a house, yada yada, it's usually like for marriage, and a lot of times for marriage.
Like a couple times I had some people like pull out sums of money off their lines of credit to do a wedding.
Absolutely. I had this one guy, poor guy was really like, his line of credit still needed to be pay off a lot of money, and he took out like another 40 grand out, and we just happened to have a conversation. He happened to say like his daughter's getting married next weekend.
Yeah.
So he has to pull out more money. Like
and in Indian weddings are like 4 or 5 days long.
Yeah,
I mean every culture. I don't know if any other cultures do like multiple days, but I mean,
I'm sure
weddings in general are expensive as fuck.
So expensive, and it's not a bad idea. You obviously want to celebrate it, but just like you say, like I can't imagine like the only reason I would want to spend like $10,000 or $20,000 on a ring is if I knew that was like a financial investment, like something bad was going to happen. So now I'm going to
sell the ring later.
I could sell the ring later or something like that, which sounds bad because that's supposed to be your wife's ring. But like, it just economically makes sense. That's the only reason I would spend that much money on it.
Yeah. Like, I mean, we're coming to the topic of like how like we don't understand how so much money can be spent on a wedding day. Because imagine like 50 grand is like apparently the average for a wedding. So like, I don't know, like 50 grand, like that's like what, 5 amazing vacations. That's a good chunk of college savings for your kids.
Absolutely.
A new home. Like these are all these things. So there is a significant importance put on this spending.
Which is crazy because America, I feel, has one of like the highest divorce rates out there too.
Well, see, we disagree on this, and we'll talk about it later. But it's like when you give someone the complete freedom to do what they want,
they're never gonna stick to that one person.
No, it's just gonna be like people grow and they have options. But when you're in another culture where it's not common to get a divorce, then you're more likely constrained to not be able to have a divorce.
Yeah.
In
So you
Indian
want to take away the free
I
will.
mean, in Indian culture, well, no, in Indian culture, if you get a divorce, getting married the second time is hard.
It's damn near impossible.
Yeah. So it's like not really, yeah, you have a choice, but is it really a choice?
Yeah. No, I
So
understand.
that's what I mean by that. But
Yeah.
I mean, going back to this spending money thing, like,
Yeah, so you're say yes to the dress. I still can't believe you, man. I don't know.
It's like watching a social experiment, dude. It's like you see the importance these people are putting on this one thing.
When you said it that way, it was a little intrigued. Like, wow, that is a crazy social experiment.
Because no, like
and they're making a business out of it. Like, you know.
Yeah, I mean, apparently, like my girlfriend told me like this is apparently like the best shop in the world or something, and people like.
Oh, they have that.
I mean, this what the show is based off of. It's
like
the best
so they only go to one shop.
Yeah, they only go to one shop.
Oh, okay.
And
I didn't know that.
They're like the #1 wedding dress providers or whatever. And I'm assuming because if they let their story be on the air, they get a discount for the dress or something.
Oh.
That's my assumption. But I haven't seen anything cheaper than like 7,000.
Now, don't you get paid to be on reality TV?
Yeah, I would assume so.
Yeah, right?
So I'm assuming that the money they get...
So this is why it's reality TV, because they're like bogging these prices of like right in front of you, like this is what it is. But I don't think that's what they're really paying on the show.
I mean, it may be like out of pocket they're paying that much. Or maybe there's they're getting paid for something. So like obviously you can't be like my budget's $2,000. I can't buy a dress. They're gonna say like we're gonna pay you $8,000.
Yeah.
But
so it's a little skewed. That's what I'm saying with reality TV. But the phenomenon is there. I truly believe that.
Diamond market is bullshit. It's just fucking glass. I mean, it's a monopoly on. You can just look this information up, like,
or you can watch the movie Blood Diamond. It's just you know, like, but no, seriously, it's a which is crazy. In space, they think they might have found a planet just made full of diamonds. So let's get there, guys. Let's get there.
I feel like that won't make a difference. But some company's gonna get a monopoly of that and be like, these are space diamonds.
Yeah,
pay more for them now.
That is true. That is true. But no, it is crazy to think that wedding is like a wedding industry. Like it's a business industry.
It is. I mean, for me, like where it comes down to is like, as a guy, I don't put any importance on it, but it's so ingrained in the culture where I feel obligated to provide like obligation is not the right word. Like I know like this stuff makes it's a one in time circumstance because I know it would make my girlfriend like happy. But then also if you switch it to another situation, like if my girlfriend would be super happy to have a $10,000 tiara, we'd be having a different discussion. I wouldn't accept it as easy.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But these things are socially in our culture. Like,
yeah,
like
ingrained. I would want to provide like the most basic need for a wedding, but like you asking for like a $20,000 ring, hold the fuck, like back the fuck up.
Like, but the thing is, spending a lot of money on a ring or a wedding dress is accepted, but like, and we are okay with that.
I'm not.
Like, yeah, I mean, we're not okay with it, but like,
no,
we're okay with it.
Like,
we understand this stuff is coming, but like, yeah, like, but then spending that much money on something else that's not in the culture is like no. So it's like
a limit there.
It's like weird.
We're socially accepting that we will go in depth for the right things, but you try to cross that line, we won't put ourselves more in depth for that. Which is crazy to think. Like, you clearly know your financial situation. You clearly know what you're capable of. Yet, it's for that moment. You just put it all out there. You let it be, and you'll figure it out later.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy to me. I mean, I understand. Like, when before you brought it up, to me, it was just like a wedding. You know, my brother had a wedding in India. Yeah. It was a couple of days long, and the currency exchange rate is different, so it is cheaper to do it in India. But if you were to convert that money and to do it to US dollars, like it's a lot of fucking money. Like you could probably open up 2 mortgages with that type of money. So to me, it was just whatever. A wedding needs to be done, so a wedding is done. But now it's coming close to my wedding time and like what I should be planning and things like that and what I need. And it's just not only nerve-wracking, but very, very stressful. Because we're still at an age, people when they get married, they are at an age where they're not the most financial stable ever in their life point.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the people older than them that's why they need their help to get married.
Yeah.
But yet at that point, we want to spend the most.
Well, so it's also like, yeah, at that moment, but for some reason, like your wedding is going to be talked about for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and
They're going to ask
which
you
is
how your
true.
wedding was, and if
Every time my family comes over, they want to relive my brother's wedding. They would just want to relive the wedding, go
So,
through the photos.
it is, I guess, is a type of investment. You're investing in
That's
this
true,
one
like an
moment.
emotional investment.
Yeah, but like I feel like so like if you had a party in a venue and you provided unlimited liquor, dude, I feel like everyone would have fun and talk about it
Yeah, right?
years on end.
I would
That's
put
the-
more importance in spending money on the liquor than in the dress or something else.
Not a dime.
Once they're
wasted.
liquored up a little bit, that dress looks like a $50,000 dress. Trust
Yeah.
me.
So what also something is like I feel like if any like girls are listening, they'd be like not upset, but it'd be like you just don't understand.
Some people understand, some people wouldn't. But I think majority, you're right. Like they would be like, "No,
You're a
wedding
dick.
is important."
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
what, you know. I know my girlfriend wouldn't too, because we've had this discussion. Because it's obviously coming up, so I know we have it a lot, and it would just be almost unfathomable to me to not be able to give her that option of what she wants, because that was her dream. It wasn't like I wouldn't say it was my dream, but just like you say, I fall into that social norm. I fall into that social bubble where I'm talking about it like this is not a good idea, but here I am about to put myself in that position.
Yeah, and do you feel like you'd be cheating the system if you like threw like a like a $5,000 wedding and then everyone brings money because you get people bringing
To pay,
and then you like
yeah.
make profit?
See,
Would that be like kind
bad
of
idea?
like
like they're making a profit off us, right? The wedding industry. Like let me make a little back. No, but I think that just comes in the terms of like that's ethically wrong, like morally and ethically wrong.
Or maybe you tell everyone.
You know what it is? Marriage. They also tie it to religion. So there's this like ethics and morality to it. This binding of cultural and spiritual and like love is like it's worth more than diamonds, you know? It's something you can't quantify where now this is getting a little bit preachy, but just like in Interstellar where like the whole message was like if anything can travel through space, time, gravity, black holes is love. Mm-hmm. And I completely concede to the fact and the idea that that's true. And that's why we put ourselves in these positions and say, we'll just figure it out later.
I mean, I'm not religious at all. So to me, I relate to what you're saying a little bit.
Yeah, because love ties a lot of things, even if you're in religion or if you talk about marriage or anything else. So that love of family or whatever you have there, that's going to make you, not want to make a profit or, it's going to make you want to be ethically or morally right.
But think about it though. Like, why are these people giving the money? They're not giving you money to pay back the wedding expenses. They're giving you the money to start your life.
Because they love you. They want to help you start your life.
So if you take that and use it to start your life instead of paying off your wedding debt, is it morally wrong?
Yeah, because I think the expectation of them going is they need the money because they just spent so much on this wedding.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, it's supposed to be like, this is the money to start your life. I think that's what I thought the gifts and everything was.
No,
like,
you're technically right.
Yeah, if you get a gift, it's like a blunder. Like, it's like, like to start your life as a married couple.
That's true.
So I don't see like what's wrong with like having a low
advantage of that.
No, not taking advantage of it. I mean, like having a low budget wedding and then having money after the wedding to start your life.
Then it comes to the fact of like you can't do it that way because if you have it low budget, the lower the budget, the less the people, less the money. So you kind of have to spend to make it back. You get what I'm saying?
You're making it sound like a business now.
It is though. No, but if you get a cheaper venue, you have less space, the less people you can put, the less products you can put on for people to enjoy, the less people come, the less satisfied they are, the less money they give.
You would need your first priority would get to get as many people in there as possible.
If you want to even come close to
and then get the cheapest amount of food.
Yeah, like you would really have to mathematically try to break this down, but you need people to come, and in order for people to come, you have to.
Well, I'm kind of like half joking on like the whole like making profit.
No,
thing. Like,
absolutely.
Like what I mean is like instead of excessively putting yourself into debt, like
I don't think that phenomenon is going to stop for a very long time.
No.
Do you think like marriage will ever dissolve? Like, think about it. Where we're coming as
I think there will be
millennials.
a wave of couples getting married without all the glamour
Like
to
almost
it.
open marriages. I think they're becoming a little like
Open marriages like polygamy and stuff like that.
yeah, which we'll definitely get into
Well, I mean
another.
that's like different,
Yeah,
but like
we'll definitely get into other topics, but no, polygamy is a type of marriage. You know, it's a but what I mean is like the ideology that you have behind marriage of two souls kind of tying each other and never leaving each other, yada yada yada. With divorce going up and people being educated to the point where now they know how to treat their women, now they know that they shouldn't have too many children. Is marriage also going to become a victim of it, where it's not?
you mean a wedding or do you mean a marriage? Like the wedding party, or do you mean because like there's a spectrum?
See, I don't think a party will ever dissolve. That's why.
No, but there's a spectrum. Like there's you have a court wedding, and then you have like the most expensive weddings. For me like I wouldn't want to have a court wedding. Like
Really?
no, I mean like we're getting married. Like I would want to spend some money and like like have a
Party a
wedding.
little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah, like
That's true.
definitely. I'm not against that. I don't. It's not like I don't understand why people don't want to like throw a party, but like
Mhm.
we're talking about party proportions that are like crazy. That's when I'm like talking about. So I understand the idea behind it, and I think that will never go away. But I think what's happening is the excessive spending, like 60 grand.
Yeah, well, but if idea of marriage itself is dissolving, then I think weddings in particular will dissolve with it. 'Cause
Well,
what do
it's interesting. You're saying that marriages are dissolving.
Yeah. So along with that, I would say
I don't think marriages are dissolving. Like
I'm not saying that it is. I'm saying that there can be a trend towards that,
Oh,
especially
okay,
with what
okay.
we're seeing now, of like having less children or thinking of like waiting longer to get married, putting different priorities first. Like I think with a lot of things that we're seeing, like the actual idea of marriage can start getting diluted, and if marriage itself starts getting diluted, like the sense of like feeling of you want to celebrate with your friends for your life partner,
Mhm.
like that kind of feeling is not going to be there. So
Well,
are you
see-
going to be inclined to spend as much on that party?
I think, yeah, the rate of children going down is there. People getting married later in their life, that's going to be there too. But I think people in general see getting married as still the end goal. I don't think that will dissolve as much. But when a society becomes more free and it's less stigma not to be married in your 60s and stuff
Yeah,
like
that's
that,
what I'm saying.
that will open up a little bit. But the majority of the population will still
I mean,
go with
just look
marriage.
at this trend now from like the early 1900s to now. Like we have later marriages, we have less marriages. We, like so it's not a unfathomable idea that it will start dissolving, or the importance of it will not mean as much anymore, because people are just going to be what we thought would had happened when we get the freedom, technology, and all the power. People just start sleeping with everyone.
Yeah.
If you all these futuristic movies, when we're in a future world, it's always a dystopia because we fuck it up.
Yeah, I always have something against those dystopian movies that I mean, no, the dystopian this be true, but I don't think we'd always be set in that line of thought.
That's a different discussion for a different day of
Yeah.
dystopia.
Mm.
But that's the idea behind it, that I can see it becoming a less thing. And because the idea of marriage becomes dissolved, your idea of a wedding party, I think that ultimately starts becoming less of an industry, less of a business, less of importance.
Yeah. I mean, okay. We have both been to friends' weddings who
Mhm.
have spent money.
Mhm.
Not talking down on people, not trying to say that, oh, you're stupid because you spent money. Like, no, I'm not trying to say that at all. We're just I think we're just commenting on like how like if you take a step back and you pretend like you're an alien looking on down on earth culture,
Yeah.
and you look at like, oh, personal finance and all this, it is a little weird we spend this much money on something like these things.
And that
that's
was an
something.
interesting fact, because when you said say yes, like you said say yes to the dress, and I still
All
did
right.
like this weird thing, but no, I love that idea of like if you look at it as an alien, and that's what you did when watching the show. You kind of took a step back and you looked at it as like, man, these families are giving up so much for this one day, and it's a beautiful thing to do. If you're able to step away from something, even something that's very attached to you from birth, and be able to see a different side of it, doesn't mean you have to do it a different way, but
Mhm.
if you're able to at least recognize it, I think that's the most important thing.
Yeah, because it's also like a proportional thing. If someone's like Did you see that Adam Sandler and Chris Rock movie on Netflix?
No, I know which one you're talking about.
I forget the name.
Where they're both like two separate families and their children are getting married. And
yeah, and Adam Sandler is like not
Adam
dirt poor.
Sandler's
He's like poor
type of family, and Chris Rock is like the richer type of family.
But he does proportionally to his wealth, he puts out so much for this wedding, and you see the importance of a father providing this day for his daughter. Yeah. So
that's another bond we'll talk about one day, is mother son and father daughter.
Every man should not watch 3 episodes of Say Yes to the Dress. Prescribed by the Betterment Junkies.
Well, hey, whoa. Let's say Mr. Black, because I still have not watched an episode. I don't.
Well, no. So I believe I have changed in a positive way. I'll be completely honest now, because before it was just tolerance. Before it was just like, this is just the norm, but I think it's retarded. I think it's stupid. Like I literally thought that in my head. I would never say it or anything like that. Mm-hmm. Then watching the show, then seeing like how important it is to people and how generational wise, like a mother wants to see her daughter have a wedding that maybe she never got to have, or she wants her daughter to experience the best day of her life. Like, these things are like, the most valuable traits of humans are like put through in these stupid customs, I would say. These stupid customs bring us. No, I mean, any custom in any religion, in any culture, these customs are just conduits for our human like best qualities, like love, friendship. These are all things.
That's true.
And these are just conduits for all these things. And that's what made me realize that. So I could come off like, I guess, my high horse, thinking like I'm smarter than everyone else.
Because you want to say yes to the dress. You see that spin? You see that spin?
So you should watch a couple episodes, so I don't feel like the only fucking man who's ever seen this.
Yeah, I think you are. I'm sorry. I mean,
my girlfriend doesn't even watch this anymore.
Yeah, that's the sad part. Like, I know a lot of men who are probably forced to watch this, but you're the one who chooses to watch this. No.
So it's not like, all right, Thursday night. I don't even know if it's on Thursday night, but like,
okay.
I don't know. It's not like I'm watching it all the time.
What night is it on? What time does it
I
come
binge watched.
What channel does it come on?
I don't know.
Come on.
Probably TLC.
Okay. What time?
God, I fucking hate TLC. Do you know what TLC stands for?
Actually, I have no idea.
The Learning Channel.
Really?
Which is the most ironic shit ever.
Isn't it all like reality shit on there?
It's all reality shit on there.
So you are learning a lot.
No, I can't stand reality TV, but it's one of my girlfriend's guilty pleasures, and I have watched some of them. And
like some of them, I mentioned earlier, like we used to watch Jersey Shore. Like, that was like a fun reality TV.
Yeah, that was fun. Especially fun to watch with other people.
Meaning out of it, like you did with Say Yes to the Dress. I don't think I saw like a financial crisis or like a love crisis.
I wonder if you could get something like meaningful from the Jersey Shore.
Well, you know what? Maybe that'll be our next the Betterment topic. We'll do research on the Jersey Shore.
Alcoholism is not a joke.
That is not a joke. Is there like a Shoreanism? Jerseyanism? I come from close to Jersey, but not in Jersey, so I will always have a negative connotation with Jersey and New York. That's a discussion for another day and time. I thought I would just put it out there. You look like the bad guy for the entire episode, so let me look like the bad guy for a little bit. No, but that's completely different. So yeah, you did open my mind to Say Yes to the Dress, but I don't think I'm going to watch the episode. But it was interesting what you brought up, because I'm coming towards that marriage type of time too, so it was a good way to step back and be like, all right, I am doing this to myself, but it's
good to at least understand why you're doing it.
Exactly. Exactly. So that's why we picked Say Yes to the Dress today.
Yeah. And how we think that everyone should watch 2 episodes.
No. All right. Like, okay, if you watch it, I won't make fun of you. I'll only make fun of Mr. Black. But, like, power to you if you want to watch it. But I don't think I'm going to be subscribing anytime soon. I'm sorry.
We will talk about this later in the future. But
I don't think we will stop.
All right, Mr. White, if someone wants to hear more about us, how could that happen?
Find us at tvjunkies.com. Everything is there. Our episodes, Junkie Shorts, the Betterment topics. Our contact links are there. Our social media links are there. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at tvjunkies. You can tweet us, share a photo, or comment, or leave ideas. You can comment on the website too. Everything is anonymous. It has to put your name and email address, but we won't post your name and email address. If you want to put your name, feel free to do so. We don't mind either.
I'm going to add something. I don't think we have any followers right now.
No.
So
I'm just talking to like an empty cloud.
No, but if you were,
I think I'm talking to your dog. Actually.
Like if you were to suggest something to us, we would probably see it. So
like right away,
that would give you maybe the motivation.
Yeah, you would be like our number one.
Yeah, it would just like, dude, we got an email.
We would be so excited. We would probably hunt you down, not in a creepy way, but like
if you recommended a topic, we'd probably do it.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Be the first one. Even your dog isn't listening to me.
He's like sleeping.
Anyways, guys, you know where to find us, tvjunkies.com. We thank you guys for listening into this Junkie Short. We'll move on to different topics at a later time, but we appreciate you listening in. You guys have a great night, good morning, or good evening.
All right. Thanks, guys.